Tommy Burke. Wow, what an inspiration. Grew up in Boston, three brothers, immigrant parents, excuse me. Just never give up. Just has Boston still with him. He went to Boston College. His father was a professor there. But he wanted to go into film, and he went on to his first set there. I got fired, decided to go west. Was on many sets, but just Desperate Housewives, Chicago PD, Skin, just a lot of, but just tough world. Will discourage anybody to go into film. He was a assistant director, or what they call an AD. But here's the thing: he gets diagnosed with cancer. He's working 14-hour days, and then at night does chemo. Keeps doing it. Then is diagnosed with Parkinson. He now has Parkinson's disease. He's beat the cancer. He wrote a great book, Not Just Sunglasses and Autographs. What a story Tommy Burke is. The energy there is incredible. How he's dealing with Parkinson's now, the never give up attitude, just one step at a time. Great conversation. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre-diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business that lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission: how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family, in their passion, in their careers, and how it helped them. Our podcast vision: growth through learning from others. Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. You're not scared at all. Tommy Burke, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for giving me your time today. Why should everyone be a bouncer or at least work in a restaurant before getting a real job?
Because you teach you how to work with people. Take people's garbage, you just let it go. Prioritize, keep a smile on your face. I'd make everyone work in a restaurant.
Working with the public like that is humbling, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't go to film school, so that was my film school.
Yeah, you went to Boston College. You're an Eagle, of course. You're from Boston, and I think your father was a professor there, if I'm not mistaken.
You did your homework. I love it.
Yeah, and hey, were you around when Flutie threw that pass?
Flutie was around when I was there. I would say Flutie. I wasn't there when Flutie was there. Flutie was there when I was there.
I see. Good for him. Not you.
Like,
Yeah, good for him. And so you're in the film industry, Tommy. I know nothing about it. I've read your stories, but it just doesn't have any attraction for me.
Good.
That's what everybody says.
If your daughter was getting to it, I'd have her sit down with her and say, "Don't do it."
Oh no, she is not. Yeah, she's in the Los Angeles area. She has no. She actually wants to be a pilot. Not create a pilot, but be a pilot. Right?
That's good. I just learned to see what they call the first show a pilot.
That's right. That's what they call it, isn't it? I happen to know that.
You know why?
Yeah.
They say it's the first one up in the air.
Right. It's the one up in the air. That's where it's from. Interesting.
So Joey, good show. You're going to learn something too.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So you're in Boston, and before we go any further, I have to tell you, I'm a Yankees fan. I know that's you Red Sox guys, you group together. Grew up in Boston. You were put on a lot. You got fired right away. You're in Vermont. You can see your breath. I mean, you're living the hard knocks life here. But why continue? Why continue to? Why'd you get the bug, and why did it bite you so hard to be in film?
Well, I didn't get a film school, so and a lot of people think I'm going to do it, so I had to prove them wrong. I busted
Mm.
my ass, and as you said, got fired in Boston, and then I went to L.A., got fired in L.A. I just couldn't give up. I like Joey.
Oh,
I'm trying to be like Joey Pinz.
a lot of the Boston guys, they're so resilient. They got such a chip on their shoulder. It's so great. It's so great. It's just there's so much resilience there. It's a tough life up there. Tough winters, rough neighborhoods, and you just carried it along with you.
Well, I didn't grow up in a rough neighborhood, but my parents wanted
Mm,
us to work. I mean, we had to go caddying at 13. We had to go.
mhm.
I,
Yeah, the
I,
work ethic.
I could drop names, but I was on another show, an interview show, and she said right before we went on, she said, I worked with a guy from Boston, and he just kept needling me. He kept needling
Mm.
me. So
Yeah, yeah, it's part of it. So you go to Los Angeles, you're on, Housewives there. You're Chicago Fire. You're on Skin. You're meeting all these actors.
Chicago PD.
I'm sorry, Chicago PD, and it's you just keep on getting it, and you're going from one gig to another. It's paid well, but you've got to take a lot of stuff from these, and producers don't do much. I learned that from you as well.
I'm sure you know all the nasty things about the film business.
And I just try to explain to me why you kept doing it, Tommy. Why is it so cool? Why is it?
I could give up. I could give up. That's the thing. I could give up.
I see. I see.
A lot of people were betting I wouldn't make it, and I got to show them wrong.
Wow.
It's
Well,
like you losing weight. They thought you couldn't do it. You lost the weight. I did my
yeah.
on you too.
But Tommy, that's my health. I mean, I had a daughter, I wanted to get better. I mean, there's other careers out there in the West. I mean, why in the West Coast? Why not just move to something else?
I don't know. I just couldn't give up. I just it was
Yeah,
I had a lot of great memories. I did a lot of great. I've been things places you wouldn't believe.
that's cool. You get to meet these people, some famous people, which I'm sure has attraction as well. Some you mentioned that are very nice to you, like Johnny Depp did a really nice thing at one point, asked you to be on his, whatever he can. He still owes you a favor, I believe.
I know. I got Johnny. Are you listening, Johnny?
But Tommy, then you get diagnosed with cancer, and you refuse to tell the crew, and you're working 14, 15 hours days and then doing chemo at night.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What?
I just couldn't give up. The thing is, it was a Brookheimer show, the first Brookheimer show. That's I'm gonna. It's like getting a chance to be on the Patriots.
Mm.
And Patriots was back a few years ago was the best, and you got a Brookheimer show was the best.
But even to that point, but eventually you had to tell them. I mean, did word get around what was happening, what you were
I
doing?
told the producers and I told the directors.
You did.
Yeah, that was it though. I didn't want special favors. I always lead by example. When I was an AD, I was a grip. And right on the set was kind of cool that people said that AD. It's like an officer training. He worked at a grip house, which they were impressed. I was a key grip once too, so I lead by.
Okay, so AD is an assistant director. What are the roles of duties of an assistant director?
It's like the project manager. You schedule a
Ah.
thing. You give the call times. When people come in, you keep things moving.
So it's a lot of moving parts. You've got to be well organized. You got to be well structured. I assume you've got to be able to take real notes and command a group.
Well, the thing is, a lot of ADs are like logistical people. They're like
Uh,
paper pencil. I'm like a sergeant. A lot of these are like colonels. They're officers. They talk down to the crew. I consider myself like a sergeant. I've been there where they've been, and I never gave up.
Yeah, I could definitely see how you would that would happen. And a key grip. What's a key grip?
He's the one. I say the gaffer makes the light, Keeker controls the light,
Ah,
and they do the dolly. They do the dolly stuff like that.
the dollies. Yeah.
I hope you're not thinking about getting into the business.
Yeah, it's just no, not at all, not at all. It's almost I play a lot of golf, and I always try to convince people not to do that either. It's just too time consuming, and it'll drive you crazy. I'm sure that I can't really draw a parallel, but I can kind of see what you mean.
I used
And
to, when I was a caddy, I used to say to the director, "I'm like a caddy. Point at the
uh,
direction shot. I'll point at the hazards, but it's your shot."
hmm, hmm. Yeah, you kind of consult. You give them direction, and then they have to end up executing.
Yes.
But then, Tommy, through chemo, through all of this, through cancer, you end up getting diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Yeah, that probably everyone's getting an aha moment right now. They see me shaking, and you tell I have Parkinson's. They probably understand now. Yeah, I have Parkinson's, but Parkinson's, I'm trying to be a leader. I tell people to exercise. Jimmy Choi is a major Parkinson's guy. He was on Super Ninja Warriors. Do you believe that?
Wow.
American Ninja Warrior.
Wow.
He's amazing. I keep. I did last night. 2 nights ago, I did 45 minutes of biking on my bike at home. But guess what I was doing while I was watching the bike on the bike?
What's that?
I was watching the Celtics.
Well, yeah, the Celtics are doing really well right now. Of course you are. Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, Bruins. It's a hot time. It's a hot time for you.
Yeah, that's why I'm in Redondo Beach.
That's why you're on the West Coast. Has Parkinson's I mean, I heard you say that you believe all the stress from, your work in the film industry led to the cancer diagnosis, but Parkinson's is more hereditary?
No, it's not. It's they're saying a lot of things. Chemicals. That's why more and more people are getting Parkinson's because all the garbage in the world it affects you. There's this
Mm,
huge, massive lawsuit against Roundup. I don't think I got it from that, but I didn't sleep a lot. I worked hard. My first job in LA, I worked for 36 hours straight for free.
yeah, I remember you saying that. I remember saying that, yeah, and you just did that again because you had to pay your dues.
Well, yeah, I first got in there because yeah. Now things are different. I mean, they're totally different. No one works for free anymore. The business is totally changing.
For the better or the worse?
The worse
Why?
because the studios are just cutting back. They're building studios to do AI. It's going to change. It's totally going to change.
Yeah, who was the big Tyler Perry? Wasn't he building a huge, studio there in Atlanta and he actually stopped production because of new AI technology?
I don't know about that, but I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, I thought I heard something like that.
Yeah,
So,
this is
yeah, the technology is really going to make a big difference there. And then of course, we see the movie industry not as popular as when we were kids, I would say, because of all these streaming services. What are your feelings on that?
well. I feel what they did was they strike because they a lot of agents they do the $150 million films, and the agents get their money in there, and it turns out bad. They're just trying to. They the reason the strike was to stop all the deals.
Hmm. Greed. We see it time and time again, just ruin things, don't we, Tommy?
My favorite was quote. I keep forgetting his name. God damn it! He said he's a executive at ABC or something like that. He said the answer to all questions is money. I believe that
Yeah.
totally.
Tartikoff?
No,
ABC. Yeah, but that I mean that yeah, the answer is all money.
it's always
And
you can say whatever you want, but it's always money.
right, right. And so now with Parkinson's, we know we see like Michael J. Fox has kind of brought a new light on it because, once we see our top celebrities being influenced by it, it starts getting more attraction. Do you know where science is with Parkinson's and how close we are? I know there's a major drug that you take that helps.
I take cardiolova levodopa every day.
Every day.
I They say it kills me. They say for the last 20 years they said they'll be cured in 5 years. That pisses me off.
Mm,
I mean, I'm really pissed at the people with ALS who got it worse. They're doing Ozempic for lose fat, and they should be, Parkinson's bad, but ALS is just horrible.
right. Right. And you go to a gym that's like a Parkinson's gym where you box and it's
I
just
go,
built
I
for
go, I go across the street. A boxing guy comes holds a mitts for me every Monday, Friday. Tuesday morning, I go to a guy with a gym he's in the book. Michael, he's basically absorbed all the energy about Parkinson's. He makes his workouts just for me. I do my biking. Um, Now I the Celtics to bike too. Um, let's hope it's a long bike. What else I do? I do a lot of stuff. I do memory stuff. I do brain exercises.
yeah. You have to keep your acuity sharp, don't you? It's the same
Yeah,
thing with Alzheimer's, right? They want you to do mental exercises and
well,
I
50%
hear
of
you.
all Parkinson's patients get dementia.
Wow. Wow. So you wrote not just sunglasses and autographs. It's something a director yelled or a producer yelled at on a set once.
Good question. I was on a film called Kimberly, and Sean Astin was talking to the people in the background, the people that came to watch the filming. I need him to come to the set, so I said we each on the set. He turned to the people and said, "It's not just sunglasses, and autographs. He's got to work."
Sean Austin, the actor who was in Lord of the Rings, etc.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Was it yeah, that's just a great line. So was the book already written at that point and you needed a title?
No, I when I got out of, I had to leave Chicago PD because I had Parkinson's. So I've always tell my book I'm always doing something. So I had to do something. So I wrote a book.
And what made you write the book, Tommy?
I always say I wrote a book just to write a book,
Right.
but it's taken off. It's really great. I got people. You know, I was at one doctor's office and I brought the book in. I gave it to the doctor. The receptionist ordered it online because she was so interested in it. Gotta
Hmm.
get the word out. Perseverance is a big thing. Like you, Joey, you're perseverance, discipline.
Yeah, but I'm not in your league, my friend. So what do you want the reader of the book to come away with once they read your book?
Don't give up. I say my new expression is you can screw up, but don't give up. 'Cause
Mm.
my book tells I screwed up a lot. I screwed up a lot, and I just kept going. Also, Parkinson's people don't exercise. That's a big thing. Exercise, Parkinson's. People just go home. I always say it's like getting a Parkinson's diagnosis and going home and sitting on the couch is like getting a lung cancer and going back and starting to smoking a carton of cigarettes.
Mm.
You got to
Mm.
exercise.
Do you have regrets, Tommy?
We all do.
You wish you could change things in your past?
The cancer would, you know,
Mm.
Parkinson's.
Yeah, and your daily fight now is just keeping moving, keeping exercises, and keeping that Parkinson's at bay.
Yes,
Yeah, and sometimes you're just exhausted just from the workouts. Is the medication? What are the side effects of the medication?
you're tired too. I mean, the thing is, I just keep going. You know, they're tired, but I don't know about tired. I don't know about stopping.
Mm. Hmm. And what should others learn from this example of yours, Tommy? Just never give up.
Yeah, and don't do what you want. And don't worry
Mm.
about if it's stupid. You screw up, just try it. It's funny. A lot of people, a lot of college classmates of mine that want to have given their book to their kids because a lot of the younger folks are not as, how do I say this right? Are not as get up and go as they were in the old days.
Hmm.
Just in case you want to read the book, but yeah,
But you're also still kinda helping with some producing, correct? And doing a little bit of film work?
God no,
Not at all.
no.
I remember hearing on one of the conversations that you were helping somebody with a documentary or something. Perhaps that was an older conversation.
Yeah, I always say now, you have a dog. Your dog's got more influence in the business than I do. It's
Is it
old.
really?
It's an old. It's a young man's game. The business is changing. People have said to me, "You're lucky you got out of the business." I said, "I'm not lucky that I have a degenerative, incurable, progressive disease, but
Right. Now, can you watch a movie or television shows without being kind of, ah, disjointed about about your experience? Can you still have fun with film?
I watch film. I watch TV.
You do.
Mm.
And you
Oh,
see names, sometimes you recognize them?
yeah, I was just in Chicago for a book signing. That was some people. The crew came down. That was nice.
Ah, that was nice. Yeah. Yeah, I heard you say that those some of the nicest people in the world on that set, Chicago PD.
Yeah, they're great Midwestern people. Great.
Mm.
That was
What is Go, please.
I was at Lola and Bowie's for a book signing. It's great.
Ah, yeah, yeah. What's the future of television versus film, do you think, Tommy? Do you have any input on that?
That's a good question. You could do a whole hour on that alone. I think I think theaters will be just not happening anymore. They just won't have them anymore.
Mm. Yeah, because those shows like Chicago PD that are on I want to say the regular networks or on the major networks, I don't know what the numbers are, but they can't certainly not as popular as when we were young.
They're doing good. The funny part is all the Chicago shows are doing really great.
Ah. Yeah, because I know you worked like CSI Miami, which you don't have the best memories of.
You did your homework.
And but those myself, I've just never watched any of them. Um, CSI is a whole franchise.
Yeah, it was a. It's an old. It's over. What
Yeah, yeah.
do you watch? What's your favorite show?
See, that's the thing. Like I watch a lot of sports, like yourself. I watch a lot of, and then I watch movies, and I watch things that I binge on Netflix. And Hulu, and these kinds of things. I don't really watch any that I can think of that are on ABC, NBC, CBS. I don't really watch like the late night shows. I don't watch anymore. Um, yeah, so I really don't. It's mostly sports and then just series.
Yeah, the internet, Netflix is just amazing.
It really is what they've done, right? And a lot of HBO and anything on just regular TV, let's call it, is all live, is all sports. A lot of what you watch, right? A lot of
I think a lot of
baseball.
people, the people that don't have a lot of money, they still play shows for people that don't have a lot of vast resources to get Netflix and stuff like that.
Right. And those sitcoms that, the Seinfeld and Everybody Loves Raymond and those ones that have kind of, Cheers and all those ones that have Friends that have stayed around for so long and are still playing to this day. I mean, that was a very different time, but those shows ended up making a lot of money. Modern Family, all right, those are very popular shows. Were those really attractive to work on?
I didn't work on those. I worked on the hard stuff, the episodic.
The episodic, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the difference is, I would think the weekly shows just are regular and they're just a little more consistent as
They're
far as
all
paying.
they're on the stage, they're on the stage, so it's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier. So, are they looked at favorably or differently in the industry?
It's all about money.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish I could get a sitcom because it was easier.
right.
I did. I was working in January at midnight. You know, with 20-degree weather.
That's right. You were saying that in Chicago, where it was -20.
Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. So, getting back to your book, right? Your great book that you spent this time with. You said you got an editor and they helped
She
you
was
with it.
amazing. Erin Anderson, she was amazing.
Aaron Anderson, yeah. And you said you'd wake up and write things on your iPad and then bring them to the book later. Is that how you typically wrote most of it?
No, they're all memories. So your mind's calm right before you go fall asleep. So I
Mm,
come I just write. Trying to think of a good example. Shooting at midnight. I just write that a subject line, just email it to myself, and
hmm.
then write a chapter the next day.
Yeah, you talk about some of the things you did, like a guy tried to get your wallet in the car, and put a gun to you.
Carjack. I got
Yeah, carjack. Yeah, and you just leaned on the horn instead of giving up the money.
that was stupid. That was stupid. I don't want to do that.
Right. But you were younger and you're from Boston, and this is what you do. You don't give up. I mean, it's just built into you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it made you. Um, how long did it take to write the book? I think you said about a year, right?
Uh, year, 2 years.
Wow.
I just
And it,
I made a lot of mistakes. I buy programs that I didn't use. I mean, I don't. One of the things I don't let people try to just think it out. I just jump in. I like a dog who jumps in the middle of a pond trying to catch the ducks.
mm.
I just jump in. I'll bark at him and I won't catch it, but I'm still doing it.
Did you get Aaron the editor after you wrote it or while you were writing?
I knew her from Chicago, so I found she was a creative art writer, school writer. So I said to her, I want to write this book. Will you help me? And she did. She did an amazing job.
And your goal again for the book is to get more awareness, to get more, to help people who have Parkinson's, who've
Yes.
gone through a lot, never to give up.
And I talk about cancer. I talk a lot about cancer. I have some life hacks about how to get through cancer. I also
Yeah,
talk in the back. I talk a glossary about all the film terms,
it's a great
positions
glossary.
in the book.
That's right. Film terms for the glossary for us non. That was great too. That was really, really, really cool. And you're hoping that you can inspire some. Like, are you going to write another one?
It's everyone getting. I gotta get. I find the book was writing it, getting publicity out is the tough part.
Or it is get tough
Everyone's got a
publicity.
book now.
Right. Right. Yeah, there are a lot of books out there, but there's not a lot of great books.
Joe, you call my book great?
Yes, most
Okay,
certainly.
super.
Yeah, yeah. I encourage everybody to go to Amazon and write a quick review. That always helps.
I
And
thank you so much.
yeah, um, yeah, absolutely. And it helps a lot. So we talked about it before time, but so I'm from New Haven, right? I'm just from south of Boston, and uh, I started my business in the 90s, and I was working way too hard, working these 14, 16-hour days that you were doing. And I wasn't paying attention to my weight, and I was eating poorly, a lot of soda, bad food. I got myself up to 340 pounds, Tommy, as you mentioned before. Doctor said to me, if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. So I lost about 130 pounds in about 7 months and kept it off. The problem with a lot of weight loss, of course, is people look at it as a finishing line, and they gain it back. But people ask me how quickly, and I always say discipline. So, how does discipline play a role in your life, Tommy Burke?
Well, when I was doing the chemo. I do 2 weeks at a time. I wouldn't look at the whole thing. I just look at the next
Mm,
chemo thing. When my doctor finally said to me, "I have cancer," I said, "What are we doing about it?"
right.
I also said, great line for the book. When I was through all my radiation, I said to my doctor, "Am I normal?" He says, "Tommy, you're never going to be normal. It's your remission."
Yeah, yeah, I heard you say that too. And your resilience, your resiliency, given your background, your parents are immigrants, Polish, correct, and and,
Yes,
and Irish, and it just seems to me, and their work ethic. You had a caddy when you were young. It just seems to me discipline. I think you said you have two other brothers
three other.
and three other. Uh, Irish Catholic family in Boston. Yeah, four boys. My goodness. Um, and just it seemed to me, without saying it, discipline was just just stated was just part of the normal routine in there as a youth.
Yes.
And your brothers, are they older, younger?
Two older, one younger.
And do they
Brian, Chris,
follow
Brian, Chris, Tom, and Ted.
ah, and they follow similar paths as they go into film?
God, no.
No.
Um, one's a lawyer. One's has his own computer chip business. My younger brother's a biochemist. He's got his own product.
Wow. Wow. Very cool. And I just hear discipline ringing throughout your book, throughout what you do, just this never give up. It just seems that it's just, just a normal part of what you do. Do I have that right, you think?
Yes. And you don't have to be. It's like I've been stepping your lane. So you got all that weight. You just tried everything.
Yeah.
I tried everything. It would not work, but I would still do it. And that didn't work. I tried the next thing.
Yeah, you have to, right? You just have no choice.
Yes.
You got this one great photo of you and Dennis Hopper smoking a cigar, and I know you mentioned that he wasn't having the best day, wasn't in the best of moods during that particular picture, but it's a wonderful picture anyway.
Yeah. I think my restaurant background helped a lot because I catered to people.
Mm.
You, you get mad at me, but I treated him well. I gave him a Cuban cigar. I hope I don't go to jail for that.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's just really, really part of it. It's just I can't imagine. I don't know. Recently, it was brought up again. All of a sudden, I can't think of his name. That Australian actor.
Russell Crowe,
No, the thinner Bale, Christian Bale. He there was
he's English.
oh, he's English. He's not Australian. Yeah, and there was a where he's like yelling at somebody. Maybe it was the grip, and it was all recorded for like a couple of minutes. And he was just really upset with them, and the whole thing was recorded. And I just kind of get the feeling there's just so much tension there on a set sometimes that these artists just kind of lash out like that.
I don't want to get into it, but the guy yelled that was a good friend of mine. He was a DP,
What's a DP?
director of photography.
Ah, and what do they do?
They set the shot, they light it. They in the old days, I heard they used to do everything. Directors just walked on the set, just talk to DPs, do everything.
Wow, incredible. What motivates you, Tommy Burke?
That's a good question. Um, Never giving up, not wanting to be uh, uh, just not failing. Are you giving this? Are you taking notes to give to the police?
I take notes whenever I talk. It's just part of what I do. I write. I have three different color pens. I just take notes, Tommy. It's just so I can kind of I don't know. It's just something I actually write on pen and paper, by the way.
That's
It's just
great.
what I it's what I do.
My handwriting's horrible now. My handwriting was always horrible, but Parkinson's is even worse.
Of course. That is something so Bostonian what you just did there, Tommy. You're taking notes to tell the police. That's I tell you could take them out of the country, but you can't take the country out of them. It's just very, very God. Um, so continue this theme of never giving up. So that's what motivates you. So then how do you measure success?
Well, now it's my favorite. It's totally different now. When someone comes up to me and says, "I read that book that really helped me," that's my touchdown.
Mm.
That's my Tom Brady touchdown.
So impact.
Yeah, that's it. I want when people I um I get really hard massages every Monday. Like they're brutal to break up
Mm.
my muscles. And guy um, went back to school. He said I inspired him. I mean, that's what when someone says I inspire you. That's my touchdown.
Well, you inspire me, Tommy, and I'm so glad you wrote this book. So many people would just, work on themselves and, continue exercising and trying to get better. But you took the extra step. You wrote a book. You're trying to make it more globally known. Never give up. That's the mark of an extraordinary person, Tommy, in my view.
Thank you.
It really, really is. I mean, because I mean, you're saying you work out 45 minutes a day just because you have to keep on it with Parkinson's.
Oh yeah, it's. I say there are people who have it worse. I mean, I my foot starts cramping up. There are people that's the first symptom. I've had it for 7 years, 7.5, and I'm doing pretty good. There are people who just doing horrible, just doing horrible. And I'm so pissed. I want to get out and speak to people and start telling people, let's find a cure. Let's find a cure now.
Mm,
Because I'm shaking a little bit now because I just started the day. But a lot of times at night, I'm I don't. There's no symptoms
I see.
because I work out all
And
the time.
what do we need to find a cure? I mean, scientists are working on it. I mean, is it more money? Is it time? Is it both?
Well,
Is it
there's a thing called deep brain stimulation. I'll give you a little thing. Parkinson's makes you stiff. You can't move. You take these carbidopa, and it goes the other way. Makes you jerky. That's why
interesting?
Michael J. Fox got all the jerkiness. He takes so much carbidopa. So I want to deep brain to stop the jerkiness. They deep brain stimulation. They open up your skull while you're awake. They put electrodes in. I think they're seeing that as a. I'll say it again. They answer all questions of money. I think they just do that so they make more money at it.
Mm.
A little
So there
paranoid.
is mm, there is a surgery, but the success rate isn't that high, is what you're saying.
It's good, but it doesn't really it doesn't solve the problem. I mean, it stops the jerkiness, but you still have Parkinson's.
Mm. And your message to people, just overall through the book, through you speaking, is what in your words?
Um, just take one step at a time.
Mm.
And screw up, don't screw up and try again. Not to be Yankee fans.
Ha! It's important to have a sense of humor, isn't it?
I have a T-shirt that says "Laughter should be the last thing to go."
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it definitely should be. It should be. And I really, I know we went kind of back and forth setting this up. There were some scheduling issues, but I'm so glad we finally talked. And I want to tell you that again that you're an inspiration to me. If anybody listening or watching or both, how can they get in touch with you?
TommyBurke.com. I'll talk to anyone. I'll talk to high schools. When I go to when all the filming, I go to different cities and I go talking to high school or college, and all these kids. This is back a while back. Um, they would just be in the room and I'd say, "What do? You're a script. You're an actor. Why aren't you reading the script? Why aren't you shooting? I'm getting people to do something."
Mm,
So I like to speak and just get motivated people to do something. That's my next goal is to start speaking, get out there and kick some ass.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the book is great. Again, not just sunglasses and autographs. It is on Amazon, but go to TommyBurke.com. Of course, Tommy Tommy Burke Burke, and reach out to Tommy. Tommy, I want to thank you so much for your time today, man. And when I get out there to California, we'll get together and have a cup of tea.
Yeah, I'll come out to Pittsburgh and caddy for you.
Sounds good. Tommy, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Would you like to financially support the podcast? You can go to our Patreon site. Consider $5, $10, or $20 a month. There's all kind of plans that we have there. There's like a one-time payment. What is this podcast episode worth to you? $25, $50, $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. You be the judge. You can go to our PayPal account to do that as well. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.